Good day, my friends. I'm Dan Barefoot, joining you from Los Angeles, where the hot summer days are finally giving way to cool fall weather.
And I'm MJ connecting from the beautiful and amazing Bogota, Colombia.
Of
And
course,
then, as you know, it's really cold right now, but great to have you with us and WIN StreamIt today.
MJ, it's always cold in Colombia.
Yes.
You know that.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, it feels like we've been going nonstop lately. FESPA Mexico just wrapped up, and now we have Printing United Expo. It's right around the corner in Orlando. I have to say, I'm still amazed you managed to record 235 video takes at FESPA in Mexico City. You were
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah, I was really busy. And then I have been hard at work sorting through them all. And we're
Mhm.
starting to release some exciting new content from the show.
Oh, I've seen some clips and the content's really great. You know, we featured two of your videos as video of the week in our two last newsletters, one from AGFA Mexico and another from our friends at Cellupal.
That's right, then. And there's still, as you can see, plenty more coming for our viewers and listeners.
Yes, please keep them coming. You and Anna are doing a great post production work on the videos. As for me, with Printing United kicking off next week in Orlando, I'm gearing up to bring back some great content too. Though don't worry, there won't be 235 takes this time. Hey, but I've got some fantastic videos lined up with lots of companies, including one with our special guest today.
That's awesome, Dan.
Mhm.
And I know we'll also be sending out a special newsletter highlighting
Mhm.
must visit booths at Printing United.
Exactly. It's a new feature for Win Quick News, and we'll be sending it out on Tuesday just before the show starts.
Sounds like an exciting week ahead, then. And speaking of excitement, we've got a great session lined up for today.
We sure do. Joining us are two wonderful friends of World Imaging News, Chris Saunders, Director of Sales, and Greg Farmer, Sales Executive from Insta Graphic Systems, experts in DTF heat transfer technology.
Absolutely, Dan. Having Chris and Greg on the show is a real treat. Today,
Sure
they'll
is.
give us an overview of their full product line, share a live demonstration of their DTF heat transfer solution, and for a bit of fun, take part in our lively wing pong challenge.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this.
Yes.
Let's dive in and see how Insta Graphic Systems is helping businesses boost efficiency, quality, and profitability in the DTF space.
Welcome, Chris, Greg. It's wonderful to have you with us on WinStreamIt today. But before we get started in our product discussion, one of the treats we get to have is hearing
Mhm.
about your professional backgrounds. So, Chris, Greg, tell us a bit about your professional journey and how you got into this business.
So I'll go ahead and start. I've actually been with Insta a few decades. I started as the executive assistant to the CEO, Herbert Wells, working part-time while I tried to raise my boys. From one thing led to the other, from heading up the Major League Baseball license to international sales, and now to where I am now, Director of Sales and Marketing for the company. Have seen a lot of changes in the industry, a lot of changes at Insta. My background actually is in business. I taught school at the very beginning, but that really helped me. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed students, but I taught in business. So that really propelled me into a business career where I've been for many decades, actually, at Insta.
Mhm.
That's
Great.
great. That's great.
Yeah, Chris is, as everyone knows at the shows and stuff, she's like Miss Insta. A lot of people say everybody knows her, associates her with Insta. She's the
That's
face
for
of the
sure.
company in some ways.
Yeah.
But so I joined Insta just under 5 years, about 4.5 years ago. My background is actually in wholesale fashion. So I've sold like watches, eyewear,
Oh,
footwear, women's apparel, all kinds of stuff like that. And has happened to a lot of folks in that industry and other industries when the pandemic happened. Our roles got kind of shaken up, and I was actually laid off, unfortunately. But Well, unfortunately or fortunately, because I was looking for a new opportunity, and Insta happened to be looking for a new machinery salesperson, and they interviewed me, and I guess they liked me because they took a chance on me. So I'm very grateful for that. A little bit of a different industry, but it's kind of cool for me because some of the types of lines I sold before, especially like footwear, now I am selling to those brands, so it's kind of an interesting take on what I was doing before. So
Hey,
Greg
those are
is
great. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I'm
Chris.
sorry. Greg's a great addition to our company. He's my right-hand man. I'm not kidding. He helps with marketing. He's super, super voice when we're doing videos, and an excellent writer. So he really fit the bill, and I'm really glad you got laid off.
Great stories. I love it. This is
Yeah.
one of my favorite parts, actually, is hearing people's background, because you don't know about these things. But
Yeah, that's
really
true.
appreciate you sharing that with us. MJ, I've worked with Chris for a number of years, probably more than either of us would like to say. And of course, as Greg said, 5 years now, and it's been great working with both of them. It's really great to work with professionals like Chris and Greg. They don't get better than this. I just want you to know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Than I do have to ask a question.
Mhm.
Uh-oh.
How long, Dan, have you been in this industry?
Okay, MJ. I think I know where you're going with that. And no, Noah didn't have signage for the ark. Okay, I just want you to know that.
Yeah,
MJ
why?
makes fun of my age. Okay, I just want you to all to know this. Okay, you
That's
get better
okay.
with age.
Yeah.
So, right, Chris?
That's okay. You know what? We've been in the industry a lot. We've learned a lot. We've seen a
Mhm.
lot. But I was
Yeah.
thinking about this last night. The associations that I've made, the people that I've met, the knowledge that I have of the industry. I consider myself a mentor now.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely, yes.
I'm trying to spread that throughout our company, because there aren't very many of us left
That's true.
that have the knowledge and have seen what's going on in the industry.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I consider it a privilege.
I do as well, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. Dan is my mentor. He has been for a really long time. So you don't have to go back to mentioning the arc, Dan. It's okay.
But it's a lot of
Love it.
fun. You know that. And we like to have fun. So,
Yeah.
Insta has two sides to their business. Most folks know about their heat press solutions, but they also have a full lineup of custom heat transfer products.
I'm especially excited about their DTF offerings. So, Chris, Greg, take it away.
Thank you. So this has a little bit of an overview of Insta, of showing not only our heat press, and this actually is the machine that I'm going to be demoing today with our new DTF product. But we're very active in a lot of different markets with our transfer. Branding is where it is all at right now, as well as customization in the marketplace. And I think that buzzword is everywhere. Customization, branding. Next slide, please. Greg.
So we'll give you kind of a little background on who Insta is and where we come from and stuff before we dive more into the specifics of our products. But the things that we're most known for, and we have it says 65 years of heat transfer excellence. It's actually 66 years this year, just so everybody knows. But we are known. So our heat press machinery is known for having the best heat recovery and the most even heat and pressure in the industry. And what that means is that our machines, our platens are designed and our controllers are designed so that the press is never more than 3 degrees too cold or 3 degrees too hot. So when you're doing high volume, fast application, and you're cranking through those shirts or those bags or whatever it is you're applying to, it's normal for the platen to shift a little bit off temperature. It's almost impossible to keep it exactly on, but some of those other brands out there where the platen is dropping 15 degrees after a press and stuff like that, you're really not going to run into that with Insta. So that's really great. We have incredibly innovative transfer ink technologies. Just a few examples. We have a silicone ink, which is very premium and very cool. We have a number of water-based options for those brands that have strict, RSL guidelines. We offer a puff, which is industry leading. I mean, the amount of elevation you get out of this is unbelievable, especially if you do the artwork correctly. It's a very cool effect. And more, we just recently released a flex glitter that's kind of coming back again. We are reliable and agile. We do business in over 100 different countries around the world, and we're well known in the industry. But at the same time, we're still, kind of a small team, and that allows us to be very agile and to give all of our customers like really, really personal service. So I think that's one of our biggest selling points, other than like our phenomenal products, is the customer service you get and the personal touch.
Call it the white glove service.
Say that again, Chris. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I call it the white glove. Everybody gets the white glove service. I don't care
Oh,
who
yes.
it is. They are all white glove. Super important.
I like that. Yeah, white glove service for sure. Last thing I want to say, kind of in this, what we're known for section, is that all of our transfers are printed in California. And a lot of our machine models are also made in California. So, made in USA, all our sales and technical service and all that good stuff is also based here in California. That's really important for brands who, whatever, they're troubleshooting something and they need somebody on their time zone. Some of the stuff you can get overseas nowadays, right? But you need somebody on your time zone and in your neck of the woods who can really quickly help you when you're testing or trying something new, or you run into an issue in production or something like that. So
we really specialize in the following. We are one of the few, if not 2 or 3, that offer a total solution, which includes machinery and transfers. And that leads to a final product, which is durable, beautiful, and comfortable to wear. You have a problem with your transfer, you're using an Insta machine, we can troubleshoot, and we've done this around the globe, and tell you, is your heat, is your time, is your pressure not right? So we offer the total solution for the best results for our customers. We are providing machinery and transfers for on-demand customization at events and retail in a large way. People come to us because we can do both, and we can do it quickly. We also meet, as Greg mentioned, the strict RSL guidelines for brands that are really concerned about safety or environmental friendly for their final products. So when we talk about products, we do have products that are RSL compliant, berry compliant. Our water-based products are used around the globe.
Some of the types of customers that we work with, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, is Insta somebody that I could work with? Just to give you an idea of the level of customer that we're able to work with. We work with some of the largest athletic apparel and footwear brands globally. We work with a lot of them, honestly. We work with professional sports teams, MLS, MLB, NBA, NFL. Would love to work with some NHL teams. So if you're listening and you're an NHL team, let us know. Also, I played rugby growing up. So, hey, hit us up. But, that would be very cool to work with a rugby team. But our transfer programs, have been for incredibly high profile events, including the Olympics, Michael Jackson, as a couple examples. A lot of the stuff we work on, we have NDAs in place. And so I'm very careful about what I talk about. Chris knows all of them. She memorizes them. I don't have them all memorized, but a couple examples of some of the high profile, figures and events that we've worked on. And we also do a lot of business in some extremely demanding industries such as medical, airline manufacturing, certain types of, heavy industrial uniforms and things like that, where they have really, really strict durability and also, again, RSL standards. We have the ability to work in that. And all of that being said, we work with these big names and these big industries, but we also work with, your local screen printing shop and folks like that as well. They have our heat press machines and they may order transfers from us. So we really run the gamut, but we have the capabilities to work with very unique customers who are very, I guess, demanding. We're totally set up for that. So
we are always looking to the future. And I think, myself in general, traveling around the globe, I look for products, I look for markets, industries, and I saw the DTF blow up probably starting 5 years ago. Dan, you can correct me.
Mm-hmm.
So we have been doing R&D on that product for a long time, trying to find the right machine to use and the right consumables. Another product that is very highly sought after in the actual safety industry is what's our name is Instaglow, which is a reflective transfer. Finding the consumable to use to print that, we search the globe. We develop a lot of new equipment, but probably our highlight has been the Model 780, which we're going to talk about in a minute, and our 421. The 780 is our dual shuttle, which is really, really for the DTF, and Greg will talk about this, high production, that one that does all the application. And we know that the application is the bottleneck right now in the DTF system. So we developed this specifically for high production transfer and DTF.
So,
machinery, you're on.
Yeah, that's my specialty, machinery.
Absolutely.
So, some of this we kind of mentioned already, but just like we said, we have the fastest heat recovery and most even heat and pressure in the industry. All of our machines are designed to last 25 plus years, obviously with proper care and maintenance. You can't be throwing the machine around your shop and expect it to last that long. But if you take care of it, you'll have to occasionally replace a small part here or there, but your machine will last that long, which is very cool. We still get calls from people who are like, "Oh, I have one of your blue machines in my screen printing shop." And for those who don't know, Insta, I think maybe we stopped making it maybe 35 years ago. Our machines used to be blue. That was like the color of the whole machine was blue. And people still have those and they're still running, from 35 plus years ago, which is pretty cool. So, but we also have a number of specialty models and we'll get into a little more detail on that in a minute, but specialty applications, specialty products that you're doing, we have a cap press, we have a dual shuttle, a smaller dual shuttle than our 780 for doing labeling and things like that. And we also have some pretty large format stuff available. Basically, we have you covered depending on how fast you want to go, what kind of product you want to print on, and what kind of technology you're using to print with. We pretty much have you covered. So
not only in the heat machinery, but also in the heat transfer division. So you come to us, you need to print on a glove. You come to us, you need to print on an apron, a brace, something. We have you covered there as well. We have our own R&D team, and our sister company actually produces ink and adhesives. So we are fairly vertical in what we do and how we produce, and that's why we're able to come up with new products that meet a lot of regulations around the world. 50 washes, that standard is pretty standard in our industry. We make sure before we release anything that it meets that standard. and we have excellent hand feel and the versatility in terms of substrates they perform well on. So our variety of transfers and heat presses really create a total solution for whoever is coming to ask for products from Insta.
Yeah, and I just want to add on to that real quick. That's one of the reasons some of the folks in the industry have been asking us for a while if we had a custom DTF product to offer. And we were, I will admit, a little bit slower than some of our competitors in getting to market for that. But that's because we didn't want to offer something that didn't meet our extremely high quality standards. And so, you know, we've been testing and experimenting and on different printers and with different ink systems and different adhesives and everything for, I don't know, at least 5 years now. And it's just this year that we have felt we really reached the point where we could offer a DTF product that met our, you know, high standards. And so we're very excited that we have that now. But
Good addition.
last
Greg.
point here is to talk about our amazing. Yeah, for sure. Last point here is to talk about our amazing team. Just like Dan, we were selling transfers to Noah back in the day. So, no kidding.
Yeah.
But
Come on, Greg. Don't pile on here.
but in
I
all
love it.
seriousness, though, Chris is not the only one at Insta who's has decades with the company. You know, I'm one of the unusual ones that only being there, you know, just under 5 years. A lot of the folks at Insta have been there 20, 25, up to 35 years. So we have hundreds of years of combined experience. And kind of what that gets you as a customer, you know, is that if you come to us with a unique application or a unique problem you need to solve, we have all this wealth of information that we can rely on. You know, if you talk to me, you're not just getting my knowledge. I'm going to go to the team and say, hey, I have this customer with this unique, you know, problem that they're trying to solve. And I have all that hundreds of years of experience at my fingertips, so to speak. So it's pretty cool. And it also makes it Insta, you know, on a personal note, a nice place to work, to have people like that, you know, and to get mentorship from Chris and some of the other folks on the team. It's pretty cool.
Hey,
Go ahead, Dan.
I was just going to ask you, do you have any job openings?
I do. Tomorrow, can you come? I'll give you till after the show. How's that?
Hey, what a great overview. You know, I can tell you in my past life of course, Graphics One, selling the product line, I never had to worry about whether the heat presses would work. Once we sold them, they were magic. And you can't say that about very many companies. So it's a super impressive lineup for the DTF space and for the, you know, everything in heat transfer and transfer technology.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chris and Greg. And now it's time for demo time. Chris, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you. So as we talked, and I'm going to move back behind, Insta took a while to get our DTF product online, but we are extremely proud of our product. What we're hearing from our customer base, new customers, people that have used others, is that this is a superior product. So I actually will be printing our new DTF product here on our award-winning 256 manual machine. So our DTF is actually at 295 degrees, 12 seconds, medium pressure, and a hot peel. So I'm going to demo. The beauty of our 256, for those that don't know the machine, is that it's a swing away, fully exposing the platen, which top to bottom, side to side, you can work. There's no heat on your face, on your hands. And this machine is throughout the industry, the standard. 2.5 degrees up or down in temperature. You're not waiting for heat recovery. No problems with the machine. Maintenance very, very, very little maintenance ever. So here's our DTF transfer. I will be printing it and peeling it for you to show you the results.
And the nice thing about our DTF is that it is a hot peel. And just to mention on the 256 as well, the reason all of our machinery are swing away rather than a clamshell is that you get much more even heat and pressure that way. And like Chris said, when you're loading, the heat's not right on your face, you know, when you're opening a clamshell.
So true.
Look at that. That's how fast it is.
Wow, that is quick.
We bake the cake, and
Top
the
peel.
beauty.
Wow.
But
Top
feels
peel.
like butter.
It's just like butter. This is on dark, and as we all know, and I'm kind of upside down here, as we all know, it's very difficult to print opaque on dark with DTF. We've mastered the skill. I don't know if you can see, but look at the detail in this.
Gorgeous.
And
Yes, it was
the
gorgeous.
feel, the hand of this is like it's not even there. It's fantastic. So when we talk about DTF, you know, we know the machines really do the same thing. But the beauty and what the real secret is how you use ink, the adhesive, and the film. So we love our product. We love it, and our customers are absolutely raving over it. I think on our website, you'll see a couple testimonials. So going again back to the machine, our 256 swing away has a beautiful area for actual threading and putting the garment on underneath, so you don't have to put it both on the top. We have interchangeable platens for this that are super easy to take in and out. And one thing is we develop our own integrated digital controllers for time and temperature. So once it's set, you're not going back and resetting it over and over and over. And then our pressure gauge on the back. So this just is a demo of our manual equipment. Of course, in our showroom, we have all of our equipment available, but we will be talking about that in a minute and highlighting a couple, 2 or 3 of those pieces of equipment.
Yeah, that's great. You know, I used to use Chris's sales pitch actually. When we talked about the swingaways versus clamshells. I mean, it's just a classic way to sell.
Right.
Anyway, you know, MJ, I knew Insta had a strong lineup for the DTF space, but I think now what we're going to do is we're going to go back and take a look at the products. Go ahead there. I jumped ahead, folks. Go for it, Greg.
Yeah, for sure. So, and this is not our full product lineup here, but we have a few more machine models as well. But some highlights from our line, I guess we wanted to touch on quickly. You know, we mentioned the Insta 780, which is the black one on the top of the screen there. I call it the Batmobile, but that machine is super cool. That's become my favorite machine in our lineup. And like Chris mentioned, folks who are, you know, and this is happening more and more, maybe they used to be a screen printing shop or whatever, and they're buying DTF printers and lining them up. I mean, some of the people we talk to have 10 to 20 DTF printers lined up, and they're cranking the transfers out and applying them pretty much immediately. And they need a heat press that can keep up with that kind of speed, you know. The great thing about a dual shuttle like this is one single operator, depending on your dwell time, of course. But if you assume like a 6 or 7 second dwell time, which a lot of the DTF is even less than that now, you can potentially hit 350 impressions an hour. Now, you have to have a good operator. You know, it's not easy to do that. There's some training involved, but a lot of the kind of the competition for this machine is the carousel presses that you probably see at shows and stuff like that now. And those are really cool. I'm not trying to take away from those, but those often cost $30,000 to $70,000 depending on the brand. This machine is just under $10,000. It requires one operator, you know, whereas those usually require 2 to 3 depending on the machine. So, and you can hit enough volume with this where you really don't, I personally don't see the need for a carousel at the point that carousel technology is at right now. My opinion, I'm gonna share that with everybody. We've researched that extensively and looked into developing one ourselves, and we still may eventually. But for right now, honestly, I think a dual shuttle, if you're trying to go fast and do as much as you can on a per operator basis, this is where it's at. Next
Greg,
machine.
the footprint of it, I'm sorry. Plus the footprint is quite small.
Absolutely.
And as we know, in the area, the machines, are larger, but this footprint, if you put a carousel in next to a DTF machine, producing machine, you're taking up a lot of space. So when we developed, the footprint was important.
Absolutely. The footprint, as well as one thing I forgot to mention, is that the evenness of heat and pressure on a swing away dual shuttle, which is what ours is. The sliding dual shuttles, they don't get very good pressure because those bars aren't very strong, but ours is a swing away. So you can get extremely even pressure. Carousels have those platens that are sticking out on metal arms, and it's just never going to be as firm of a base as this is. It's just not really possible. But anyways,
as we talk about, like the clam press, Dan, that we talked about, clam versus swing, your pressure is very light on the end, and pressure is extremely important in printing on film in the marketplace.
Absolutely.
For sure. And that's part of that, when Chris peeled that DTF transfer and it just came off like butter, that's because she's getting incredibly even heat and pressure when she applies it. It's also because we have a great transfer product, but the machine has a lot to do with it. So a few of our other models here that folks who know us probably recognize, because they've been in line for a while. Right next to the 780 is the 728. And that's the machine that we've been making for, I don't even know how long, Chris. I mean, 50 years or more. It's been updated many times, obviously, and it has a digital controller and all that good stuff nowadays. But that's the one where people call us up and they say, I still have your blue machine from 40 years ago, So that's that model, just a workhorse. We have facilities around the world, but for my territory, I was just in some facilities on the East Coast, and we have some in Mexico and many other places, but that have 50, 60 of these lined up, and they're just cranking through application. They're getting their transfers either from us or maybe from one of our partners that we work with, and they're cranking through on 50 of these machines at once. It's pretty cool to see that. The dual shuttle that's on the bottom of the screen there, that's a little bit smaller, that is our 907, and that's our labeling machine. So, you can still do any kind of transfer technology, just like all of our other machines, but the size of the platen lends it to labeling. It's a 6x6 platen, and you can also add a 2.5 by 2.5 platen if you prefer. You need a really small labeling space. Great for tagless labels, back neck branding, chest branding. A lot of folks do bags on this because you can see there's a ton of space around the platens for straps and things like that to kind of hang down and get out of your way. So it's phenomenal for that. Again, it's high volume. It's a dual shuttle. So you can be setting up one platen while the other platen is being pressed. And then right next to that, this is a new one. In the last year and a half, the 421, same thing for labeling, but we had requests from some of our customers. They're like, hey, I'm not doing 200 an hour or whatever. I don't necessarily need the 907, but I do really like that labeling size and that format. And so we came out with the 421 here, which is built on our cap press chassis, I guess you would say, and the cap press you can see is just to the right of it there. But both of those machines, you know, they're a little more affordable because they're smaller format, they're lightweight. You can carry them around to trade shows. You can carry them to your retail store, carry them to special events, things like that. They're phenomenal for those kind of opportunities. And then,
We have
you know,
schools using them to actually put on the school name, and they do it at the school location. So very portable and very, very easy to use.
absolutely. Yep. And then the last model there, that's the one Chris just demoed for everybody. And honestly, a lot of folks know our Insta 256 because you see it at a lot of trade shows and things like that. You know, it's a great format for doing the front of shirts. With our accessory platens, you can also do all kinds of different parts of garments and yoga pants and bags and anything you can imagine. It's very versatile. So a lot of our partners will use that model at trade shows. So if you're walking around a trade show and you see Insta, there's a good chance that it's going to be that one. Just kind of a quick note about our entire line of machinery. Other than one or two kind of specialty models, pretty much all our machinery is made of solid cast aluminum. And that just makes it super durable. That's why, you know, people will always say like, oh, you're 728 or whatever. They're like, that thing's a tank, you know, like it's built like a tank. It's solid cast aluminum, almost the entire machine. So it's incredibly durable. Our platens are also cast aluminum, which is part of what allows them, you know, I don't want to give anything away proprietary here, Chris, but that's
You're
part
doing
of
good.
that's part of what allows the quick heat recovery. You know, that cast aluminum holds the heat very well. And then our heating elements are all single coil and they're all cast into that aluminum. So you're heating from within the platen. It's a single coil. It's not possible to have dead spots in terms of the heat. Either the entire platen is hot or the entire platen is cold. So some of the cheaper models that are coming out nowadays that you can buy on Amazon and stuff like that, I've even seen them like advertise like as if it's a feature. They're like, oh, 3 heating zones in the platen. Or I saw one that said 5 heating zones, and I was like, that is not a feature. That's bad. That's a bad thing. And basically that means that all of those zones might not be the exact same temperature as each other. And then you can get slightly colder or slightly hotter spots in your platen. And if you're printing the entire front of a shirt at once, the peel is not going to be even, you know, and you might even get some of the transfer peeling up on the corner or something where it's not getting the right amount of heat. So just a note on that. Yeah, Chris, do you have anything kind of to add about our presses?
Great. You did a great job.
Fantastic.
Perfect student. Perfect student. A+. So our transfer products.
Thanks, Teach.
Yeah. Miss Saunders.
Yeah.
We have
Professor.
just a few of our transfer products that we manufacture here. The top Sharks is our Superflex transfer that can be what we call opaque with blockers. That's a industry term, so it does not bleed. We're seeing that a lot right now. There's bleeding in the industry. They're doing a paper transfer that we're going to talk about here in a minute. And this is used throughout the sport industry in a huge way for Insta. We do letters and numbers for many sport companies. And this is just one of the logos showing. So that is our Superflex product, and it's a hot peel as well. Time is of the essence for people, and positively need quick application and how you actually peel that transfer. So Ultima in the middle is, you see the detail. It also is a hot peel. It is flexible. It stretches, again, used in sport industry, but also in what we call activewear. And activewear is extremely, extremely popular right now. You're not seeing people dress up like they used to anymore. And there's a lot of that used 24/7. Off to the right is our Long Beach transfer. We're going to say, we talked about gloves. We talked about other items. So Tough Trans might help us with printing on that difficult, a glove, an apron, a substrate that's not cotton and poly. So I highlighted again our DTF, which is in the bottom, the beautiful pink lady with detail. I showed that product. Extremely, extremely proud of this product. And our Infinity transfer is a process that can get all full color. The detail on this is absolutely phenomenal. So this is just a few, and I know we have a lot more to get into, but this gives you just kind of an overview. But like we said earlier, we have a transfer for everybody. We have that reflective transfer, puff transfer. Our high density is unbelievable in the market.
Well, thank you very much for. Go ahead.
Can I just add one thing quick to that? The top 3 transfers that you saw on that slide, those are all going to be printed with spot colors. So if you're ordering from us, those are traditional screen printed transfers. And then the bottom 2, like Chris mentioned, those can do a 4-color process, a photorealistic image. You could print a picture of my face if you wanted to, But so that's DTF. Obviously, everybody knows that's 4-color. And then Infinity is a hybrid product that we offer that is a combination of digital and screen printed. So you get the durability of screen printed, and you can also put a blocker on it. So if you're going on to sublimated polys, you can put a blocker on this, whereas DTF does not currently offer the opportunity for a blocker. So if you need a blocker and you need 4-color process, then Infinity is going to be your best bet. And if you don't need a blocker, then DTF is probably your best bet.
Great addition.
Hey, that was a fantastic overview.
Yes.
You know, I knew that Insta had a strong lineup, but I didn't know how extensive it was. Hey, let's jump into Q&A. I know we have a few questions for Chris and Greg. So MJ, why don't you kick it off?
Okay, so I know you cannot get into specifics about future products, but which products, market segments will you be focusing on for new products?
Greg, or you want me to go?
I can mention maybe one of the accessories that I can't promise it's coming soon or anything. Chris, do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
Lower? Okay.
Right.
One thing, so yeah, again, I can't, if you're one of our customers, I cannot promise you this is coming soon, but it's just something that we've been talking about with some of our customers, and our R&D team has been researching. And, I will admit some of our competitors already offer, but like I said, sometimes we want to make sure we can offer really high, quality of something. So we're working on potentially offering some bottom heat accessories for some of our platens. The one that is probably most important is our cap press, and that's for people who are applying patches.
That's a big
honestly,
deal,
our
by the
current,
way.
What's that? Sorry.
I was just going to say that is a lot of people do ask for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would, honestly, our current cap press is great for patches if they're just kind of a standard thickness. I've applied many patches on it and it works fantastically. But if you're doing kind of the heavier, thicker patches, or like the, like the thick leather ones or something like that, you really do need bottom heat. And some people just prefer to have it just for peace of mind, which I totally understand. So that's something, I don't know when, this could be years away, but just something that we're working on. So
Okay, great.
So MJ, knowing the surge of the digital, I mean, from DTG to now DTF, we as a company have to stay ahead of it and make sure that we have the products to support this. Everybody wants speed to market. Is that taking that transfer off automatically? Is it putting the paper into the machine? So, you know, I think that's why traveling around the globe, Dan, you know this, now MJ being down in Mexico, you see things that and people tell us, our customers tell us, hey, can you do this?
Yeah.
But we have to be very in tune to this digital arena because it's not going away anytime soon. It's only going to get better
That's
and
true.
faster.
That's
Absolutely.
true.
Hey, one area, in fact, Chris and I have talked about this in the past, in the industry is the declining vinyl and possibly the sublimation markets. Could you share your thoughts on the vinyl market and what about sublimation? What are you seeing in the market?
So I'll start and Greg, you can fill in.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, not only that, Dan, but I mean, what, 20 years ago, you saw stock transfers, stock numbers, stock letters. That is gone. Now, with digital, anybody can produce that very quickly.
Sure.
That market went first. Vinyl is quickly declining because with digital, you can print that transfer. You don't have to cut and weed and a timely process. And I'm going to let Greg finish because he has a lot of customers in the white toner and color copy market. What happened?
Yeah, that's the other piece. What white toner and sublimation, they're not completely gone. There's still, you know, a white toner printer or a sublimation printer in a lot of ways is still easier for a beginner in the industry to use than the DTF systems are. However, they're coming out with desktop DTF systems and things like that. And if you can learn how to maintain and operate your DTF printer, the application is much faster and much easier than white toner or sublimation, you know? So it's definitely taking away from that space for sure. And like I said, it's not completely gone. We have some really great partners that are still doing really well with color copy, but they are kind of slowly phasing into DTF. And I would guess in the next 5 years, as DTF improves and the printers become easier to maintain and easier to use, that segment, I don't know if it'll completely go away, but it's going to shrink dramatically. So, yeah.
Sublimation, the same thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely, positively. I think it's totally on the decline now.
Speaking of DTF, do you see DTF as a potential opportunity to offset that decline in vinyl and sublimation? And also, as you just mentioned, the toner transfer, the white toner transfer market seems to have taken a hit from DTF. You're experiencing that right now, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, DTF is already filling in that space. I mean, you know, we're very grateful. As a lot of people know in the industry, the last few years have, I guess, been a little strange is the best the best word to use. Not necessarily in some bad ways and in some good ways, you know, but some new technologies are really shaking things up. And it's a challenge for some folks who maybe were really reliant on one particular technology or something like that. We're very grateful at Insta that we continue to grow and we have great relationships with folks in the industry that are playing in a whole lot of different spaces, you know, and in fact, they come to us a lot of times when they're developing these new technologies and they use our machinery to test the new technologies. So that kind of, you know, allows us to stay on the cutting edge in that we're in touch with these different folks who are sometimes developing these new technologies, or sometimes it's us, you know, developing new technologies around our heat press machinery. But But that has allowed us to, as certain markets shrink and other markets grow, to capitalize on that and to stay relevant and to continue, providing what the end users are looking for. So, I mean, we're really grateful for that, for sure.
Hey, here's a change of question. What's the most unique product you've ever made or been requested to make, custom made, probably custom, and how many did you produce?
Oh boy.
That's Chris.
Really, most probably is the new 780 for machinery wise.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it was taking us out of our realm a bit, but developing that for our customers to match the DTF, and we're selling a lot. I mean, it's really been an excellent product. Transfer wise, probably was reflective.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
And if customers want to reach out, what's the best way to contact both of you?
So we have on our website a call to action called sales@instagraph.com, and that will reach both divisions.
Perfect.
And I really think our competitive advantage is, as Dan knows, response time. People
Super
are responded to immediately.
Great.
And if we don't have that answer, we will get it for you. But it is responsive, white glove, hands-on treatment for everybody.
I like that.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you both so much for sharing your insights and experiences. Okay, we're going to switch gears a bit, and we have some fun. Here we go.
Look out.
Okay, watch out. Hey, we've got a brand new feature we call WIN Pong. And MJ came up with this from her experiences. So I'm going to hand it over to you, MJ. Go ahead.
Okay. As Dan said, time for a little fun. WIN Pong, just so you know, it's a fast-paced, lighthearted Q&A. Quick questions, quick answers, just like ping pong, minus the sore wrists. So here we go. This is WIN Pong with Chris and Greg.
Okay, Chris and Greg, here's a great question. How many heat presses does it take to change a light bulb?
Oh.
That's such a dad joke, okay? And I know it's
Chris has cooked hot dogs on our heat presses
Yes, I
before,
have.
so that's not as crazy of a question as you know.
During World Series time, we were here 24 hours a day. We didn't have any food. Somebody went to a store and bought as many hot dogs as they could so I could feed the staff. I'm cooking hot dogs, heating up buns so people could eat. And that's no lie.
Hey, we have a new application for the heat presses.
That's no lie.
Hey, this is breaking news, okay?
Yeah.
Take it down, MJ, okay? Okay, here's a real question. First trade show ever, where was it and what was your role?
My first trade show ever was, I believe, GPX, Graphics Pro Expo in Long Beach. That was when I was maybe 5 months in, and we were not exhibiting, we were walking the show. So my role was mainly learning and introducing myself to our customers that were there and things like that.
Great.
First domestic show for me was Impressions, Long Beach, and many, many more impressions around the U.S. and probably FESPA internationally, and Drupa, which is an awful long show. Fat.
Yeah. Okay. Normal time at work in the morning.
6 a.m.
We start at 6.
6 a.m.
Wow.
By the way, I know because I get emails at 6 a.m. That's my kind of that's my working time too. So
Yeah.
okay. How many trade shows have you participated in or attended?
Hundreds.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Chris, hundreds has to be.
Hundreds.
Greg's new to the industry, but I'm sure you're starting to accumulate a lot of trade shows too.
In my previous life in fashion, I did a ton of trade shows. So yeah, I'm honestly probably over 100 as well. But in the print industry,
well, those are all
maybe
included.
5 a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, this is a good question. Go-to shoes for long trade show days, sneakers, dress shoes, cushy insoles, or high heels.
Oh, stilettos for me. Absolutely. All day long.
I'll take brand new ones too, right?
Brand new. Has to match the outfit.
That's great.
Does Greg wear stilettos?
So I,
Greg?
yeah, oh, here and there, but that's on the weekend. No, my wife actually makes fun of me because I used to work in fashion and I sold fashion footwear and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And now what I wear to trade shows is somebody figured out how to basically make it's almost like Crocs, like that super cushy
Yeah.
bottom that Crocs have, like a slip-on. Only they made the top look like a dress shoe, and it's like this nice cloth, and it looks like a wingtip and everything.
Yeah.
That's what I wear to trade shows now. And you can't tell when you look down; it looks
Yeah.
like a wingtip.
Yeah.
But then I'm just like walking on a cloud all day. It's great. Whoever came up with that, thank you. So, yeah.
Hey, MJ. So I've got to tell you
Yeah.
something. When I do the interview at Printing United with them,
Oh,
there will be
yes.
exclusive shots of Greg's
Please,
shoes.
please do.
I'm bringing my stilettos too.
Okay, make sure you do that. Let's see, where are we here? Oh, as sales pros, what's the craziest thing you've ever had to do to get an order?
Well, I got this story down pat. Greg has another one.
Go ahead.
When I first started in my career and we had a Major League Baseball line, we went to a show called the Super Show, and Dan knows this show.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a very important company that we were trying to get the business for. So the guy came to the booth. We talked about what we had to offer, how they could help them and expand out to all their stores. Great. So we go to an event that night, and the guy is at the event, and there's music. And one thing led to another, and Janet pushed me to where the guy was dancing. She goes, "If you want the order, you better dance with him." And I danced. I danced all night, but I didn't get the order.
That's
Oh,
it wasn't your dance style, was it, Chris?
You
Oh
never
my
told me
God.
that one, Chris.
I'll never forget it,
Amazing.
ever.
Oh my God.
That wasn't in the sales training manual when I joined Insta.
No. And I told Janet that afterwards. This isn't in my job description. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I can't top that, so let's go.
Okay. Trade show mornings, what time's your alarm?
Depending on where
what-
we're at, I mean,
Yeah, what
usually
time
we're
zone?
upside down. Yeah, what time zone? We actually try to get to the shows early, set up, organize, get our sales, who's coming, who's not. So I would say 2 hours ahead of a show, we are
Okay.
usually there.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
too. That's the best time of the day. Absolutely.
Right.
Okay, tough choice. Carry heat press across the show floor, break in brand new shoes at a trade show, or I know the answer to this one. Walk barefoot on hot coals with a smile.
I'm
Right.
gonna say carry the heat. I'd rather carry the heat press across the show floor than the other two. In my cloud shoes.
And he's definitely done that.
I can imagine. Oh boy.
Too many times.
Okay. Longest trade show you have ever participated in?
Dan knows the answer to this. Drupa
Yes.
in Europe, it's a killer. I mean, you have to take 2 full staffs of employees to
Wow.
do the show. I mean,
Wow.
nowadays a 3-day show is enough. Enough is enough, but it is 5-6 days. It's way too much.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Okay, the last one. If trade shows were an Olympic sport, what event would you dominate? Fastest setup, best demo, or best swag collection?
Demo
Ooh.
for me.
Yep, I agree.
Or fastest exit?
Or both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
it.
close second. A close second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Chris and Greg. We had a blast.
We
Thank you
sure
for those
did.
amazing answers, and we hope you had a blast as well. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much. Hey, if you want to learn more about Insta Graphic Systems, please head over to www.instagraph.com.
And thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in
Mhm.
to WIN StreamIt today.
Yes, and don't forget to subscribe to Win Quick News, our weekly newsletter, for the latest in digital graphics, including videos and info from ISA, DTF Expo, GPX, Vespa Berlin, and soon Printing United Expo 2025 in Orlando.
Plus, I just returned from
Sure
FESPA
did.
Mexico, yes, where we were proud to be a media sponsor. Earlier this year, we also covered two fantastic shows in Bogota, Colombia, Createx and Andigráfica.
Hey, MJ, I'm also really excited. World Imaging News is a media sponsor for Printing United Expo Orlando. We have a full schedule of activities before, during, and after the show.
And then, don't forget of our new project, WIN
Mhm.
Update Weekly.
Right. Our new weekly broadcast launches soon in English and Spanish, bringing
Yes.
all the top news from our Win Quick News newsletter. Meanwhile, visit www.worldimagingnews.com.
And www.worldimaginenewslatino.com.
And that's a wrap for Win Stream It. I'm Dan Barefoot. Be healthy, keep smiling, and we'll see you next time.
And I'm MJ. Manténganse saludables y sigan sonriendo.